I'm here today to talk about English proficiency tests. There are two tests of English proficiency. There is test of English as foreign language, TOEFL, and there is International English Language Testing System. Many people fear these exams. Many people don't apply or fail to apply for scholarships because of these exams. And those who are taking the exams, some of them, they fail. The question is, or the question are, what are the sections of these tests which are very, very difficult for people? And why those sections are that much difficult? And the most importantly is, how are you going to do about it? What are the steps, techniques, tricks on how to prepare and get high score on those tests? But overall, what are these tests all about? Why people fear them? Is it because these tests are difficult? Or people, they just get scared because there is using of the dollar sign, like you must use the dollar, this amount of money in order to pay, in order to prepare yourself. What makes people scared these tests? Because even today I had a very bad discussion with people in my group, scholarship group or WhatsApp group, and this is what we have been discussing. Like, everybody, I'm looking for scholarship, but someone has been in the group for over 4 years in the group is looking for scholarship. My question is simple. Have you taken the English proficiency test, TOEFL or IELTS? Oh, no, I haven't. Why? Oh, that test is very difficult, so I'm preparing. How are you preparing for 4 years? Why were you not scared by university examinations? You took a university examination. Another person, I'm going to pay for English course. You have degree already. You don't need the English course to learn how to take that test. So I want to break down to you about that test and what will make you easy if you follow these procedures in order to take this test. So, number one, these tests, one is the British version, one is the American version. British version is IELTS, International English Language Testing System. So this one is done at the British Council in any country you are. The fees for that one is almost about $300. And if you don't want to take that one, you take the American version, which is Test of English as Foreign Language, TOEFL. So this exam is done or is organized by a company called ETS. So you go to the www.ets.org. On that website, you can put /TOEFL, or you can find the TOEFL exams. They organize the TOEFL, GRE, and the other exams. So you check it, TOEFL, and you can see the testing center, how much it is. You can get the CD, or the software to practice. Everything is there. And then it is the cost for ET fees is $210 in almost every country around the world. So it's just to you, which one do you prefer to take? Both exams, they are going to test English writing, reading, listening, and speaking. So number one thing, I have to take something out of your thinking. These exams are not here to test how intelligent you are. These exams are not going to determine how smart you are. And most importantly, these exams have nothing to do with your level of education. Whether you have bachelor degree, whether you're in primary school, whether you're in masters, whether you're in high school, whether you're in junior high school, senior secondary school, whatever it is, or PhD, it doesn't matter. Because it's not going to measure your level of education, your level of argument, your level of intelligence, your level of smartness is going to measure your proficiency. That's why it's called English proficiency test. It's not called English intelligence test. So for that case, it's going to measure how much you know about grammar, how much you know about syntax, semantics, whatever, all those kind of things, but in a very simple way, in intelligence way. In a proficiency way. I'll give some of examples when I'm going through into the sections and what sections are difficult and what sections are not difficult. So, as I said, there are 4 sections: writing, reading, listening, and speaking. So let me tell you In those 4 sections, majority of people, they pass 2 sections. They pass writing and they pass speaking. These 2 sections, majority of people, they get high scores. Why? In a normal way, for many people who your first language is Swahili, your first language is Igbo, your first language is French, whatever language it is, but you are supposed to use another language. So you don't have much experience. I mean, much of your experience is writing than listening, first of all. It's just writing. That's number 1. So you are good into writing essays, whatever, but that's number 1. Secondly, you are good into speaking, because when you are speaking, you are not speaking to a person, you are just recording something, you are wearing, they ask you a question. I'm giving example. Let me give example. Why do you like maybe traveling? So you are just talking, you are not, it doesn't matter whether the person understands you, whatever. So there is no any other follow-up question. So we'll be just recording. I like traveling because this helped me, whatever, blah, 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 blah. So these 2 sections, people pass a lot. But the rest of the 2 sections, people don't pass a lot. Reading and listening. And I'll tell you why. And I'll come to explain how overall to go, the trick you can use in all sections. So, why reading and listening are the most difficult section for many people? Reading. Majority of people from developing countries have no catch of reading. In Western countries, which is different, since people are kids, since they are just very tiny kids, the parents are reading books for them. Parents are taking them to the library, reading books for them, the kids' book, whatever. So from at home, they are reading books. On Christmas, among the gifts, they get books. They go to school, they have good libraries, they read books. So people, they read books for instance, like this one, The Eclipse, just for fun, like big books like this one, like, yeah. So, but for us in developing countries, we are reading books. First of all, we don't have exposure of reading books at home. And even in school, you are going to read Chinua Achebe, Things Fall Apart, no longer at easy. Just at a leisure, not at high speed, and it's not that big book. There is no novel in school you can be given a novel like this one. So most of the time we read academic books. And when we read academic books, we read without pressure or time. So we are reading very slow. So, but when you go to that test, it is very high speed. You are given an essay over maybe 5 paragraphs, and you have 25 minutes, for instance, or whatever. You have maybe over 1,000 of words to read. You have over 15 questions to answer. So it's very, so it's not about whether you know how to read, it's just how fast are you able to read and understand quick and be able to go to answer the question. So it's not like you do not know how to read. It's how you can read very fast, capture the concept and answer the whatever. So you need to do those kind of things. So that's one aspect which makes many people. So you need to practice a lot reading so fast, not like reading like, okay, Johnny is going to school, things. No, you need to go like real fast and not necessarily to be academic. For instance, if you studied, for instance, economy or you study history, don't go and read the book about capitalism. Just read something completely out of your norm. Because when you go to the text there, it can be a text about baseball. It can be text about animals, something completely out of your comfort zone. So you need to read different novels, read different texts, things which are not in your discipline of understanding. So that is one thing. And another part which makes it difficult is the listening part is a difficult part. Why? As I mentioned at the beginning, is many people, we are used, for instance, you live in Tanzania. You live in Kenya. So you are English. Yes, you know English, but you are English, you are speaking with someone with the same accent like me. You are Kenyan. You'll be talking to a Kenyan guy who has the same accent. You are talking to your teacher has the same accent, is African with the same accent. You are Asian, has the same accent. You are Indian, the person is speaking English but with Indian accent. You are from China, someone is speaking English but with a Chinese accent. So it will be easy to understand that person. That's number one. But the other thing is, when you are going to, with IELTS British version, you are listening to British accent. American, if you are taking 12, you are listening to American English, American accent. So you need to practice listening. If you are taking American 12, you need to practice listening American accent, not Kenyan accent, not Tanzanian accent, not my accent. So that is one thing. But another thing is, most of the time when we are speaking English in our comfort area, you can listen to CNN and understand CNN because you see a video. You see Barack Obama is talking on the TV. You see Barack Obama. You don't just sit here and wear the headphone and listen to CNN without seeing the picture and understand. So majority of people, you think that you understand English, but basically you can see a mouth of someone. You talk to someone and understanding someone is easier because you can see a person talking in front of you. You watch the TV. You watch a movie. Yes, it will be easier to understand. Even a person without knowing English can know certain things, can watch drama without knowing English and can understand what it's all about. But the point is, can you be able to close your eyes and listen to BBC? Can you be able to close your eyes and listen to CNN and understand as quickly as possible? And just answer the questions. So that is the point. So you need to practice a lot on listening, not watching, seeing and understand. Because on the test, it will be coming American accent down your ears. No one will be talking to you in your face. You will be just like, assume you close your eyes and some American accent comes direct here. You need to practice that. I don't know if you have any question. That is the two parts which are difficult and why they are difficult and how are you going to practice that one. But again, the other part, I can go back to the writing and speaking. Even if I said these are people get higher scores, but a lot of people, again, they don't get good scores on that one because of these mistakes. If you are someone from Tanzania or Kenya, you are Swahili background, for instance. The problem is when we are talking, we are writing in English. We are writing in English when we are thinking in our native languages. We are thinking in our common language which we know. So in the end, you are thinking and writing sentences, longer sentences. Majority of people in Africa, to my experience, I don't know, even in Asia, few of them I've seen, when they are writing a sentence, they are writing a very, very long sentence. So that is a problem. So, for instance, I can give you an example. When you have a longer sentence, you are exposing yourself to the grammatical mistakes. So don't put a sentence like this way. My name is Ernest Makulilo. I was born in Kigoma, raised in Tanzania, then came to America, 2008. I'm married. I have 3 kids. We live in Belton, Missouri. That is one sentence, very long. It's very easier to have grammatical mistakes. So the best way is just go to the basics. It's not about the vocabularies. What they're going to look is they're going to look, have you put the grammatical mistakes? That's what they're going to look. Have you put those like adverbs, adjectives, things to add some salad in your English? So for instance, what you do is very simple. Subject, verb, object. Subject, verb, complement. Subject, verb, whatever things. So for instance, my name is Ernest, full stop. There is no mistake. I was born in Tanzania, full stop. I live in Missouri, full stop. So what you come to add, I currently live in Missouri, full stop. So you add just adjective, just like a little bit of salad there. So that is another score. You don't have any mistake. But if you say, my name is Ernest, I was born in Kigoma, whatever, you are going to put in a mistake. That's why even African teams, they don't win in soccer when they go to World Cup. Because African soccer players, they want to go with the ball. No. Just play like Real Madrid or Barcelona. Xavi, Iniesta, Messi, Drogba, boom. Just tick, tack, toe, ta, ta. Simple. It's easy. Even in me, if we put in Barcelona, Real Madrid, you'll think, oh, this guy plays very well. Because there is no drama. You just get the ball, you just give it to Hazard. You give Hazard, give to someone. There is no coming with the ball from one goal to another goal. They go to break your ankles. So that is the way. So even in English, even in languages, that is the technique. That's why I'm being able to write all these books. How do I do? It's very easy. So I can give you an example. When I'm reading my book, the first chapter of my book, 3 important things happened between 1994 and 1995 in Kigoma, my hometown, full stop. So it was just Kigoma, but I just added my hometown, full stop. They all made sense to me back then when I was just 5th grade, full stop. I was a 13-year-old boy, ambitious, determined, dedicated, and a true believer of everything is possible, full stop. But not determined, ambitious. I added just some salad. But just think I was 13 years old boy, full stop. So this is how the technique. You cannot have grammatical mistakes if you just try to go with the short sentences. But if you start going to the longer sentences, you're going to be in trouble. That's why all these are my books. And I'm planning to write 100 books all in English because I'm just using simple sentences. I don't complicate. And even in talking, in speaking, when they ask you just to speak, just go that way. I like to be, when you ask the question, do you want to live in urban or in rural areas? Just like those debates, they are not going to concern about how strong your points are. They don't care about your points. They don't care whether you want to live in urban, whether you live in a rural area. They don't care about those. What they care is the reasons I want to live in urban areas because of the following reasons. First, blah, 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 blah. Second, blah, 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 blah. Third, if you say, I always goes, that is wrong. I always go. So they don't care what kind of you are PhD holder, whether you are master's holder, whether you're in primary school, it's just grammar. It doesn't matter whether it's my son Benedict, it doesn't matter. It's simple like that. If you say he comes, you are correct. If you say he come, is wrong. If you say they comes, is wrong. So that is simple. They don't care about your level of education. So the same exam, someone in junior high school, someone in high school, someone with a bachelor degree, with master's, with a PhD, they are all taking the same examination, English proficiency test. It is the same TOEFL, the same IELTS. They don't care your level of intelligence. They don't care your level of education. So those are the things and how you can be able to do that. Practice. You don't need to pay anybody to start going to English courses. What you need to do is just to increase your speed of reading. What you need to do is to be able to practice listening, not watching, listening, quiet, listen, and just write quicker, shorter sentences. You are going to get good scores. That's what I can be able to assure you. You'll be able to get high scores without fear. Don't fear that exam while you have a degree. You are free exam as if it's a university examination. Why? Just do your best. It's better to take the exam and get lower scores than not to get at all. Because if you didn't take the exam, you are not going to get scholarships. 99.9% of all scholarships, they require English proficiency test. So that is something I want to end up here to make sure that you just go and take the exam. Don't fear the test. It's just English. English is just like your language. Follow the principal grammar of your language. You'll be okay. So, thank you everyone. I'm sure you're going to take the test. And you are going to get a scholarship. 2020, you are here. Okay, goodbye everyone. Remember to subscribe and share the video.